at the end of Parashat Shemini, right after the drama of the Chanukat HaMishkan with all of the events that surrounded that, we're given a list of all of the animals that we're not supposed to eat. And then we're given a list of the various things that can create tum'ah, with all the various different rules that pertain to the halachot of tum'ah v'tara. One of the important psukim that close that particular chapter, we read, Al tishakzu et nafshotechem b'chol hasheretz hashoretz, v'lo titamu bahem v'nitmetem bam. Don't defile yourselves with any of the above-mentioned possible things that would create tum'ah. Ki ani Hashem Elokechem, v'hitkadishtem v'yitem kedoshim, ki kadosh ani, v'lo titamu et nafshotechem b'chol hasheretz haromes al haaretz. The Torah tells us the rationale, because I am your God, and you should become holy, be a holy people, because I am holy. This pasuk sounds very, very familiar. To be kadosh, that we should conduct ourselves in a manner of Kedusha, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is holy. As a matter of fact, it appears in Parashat Kedoshim, more famously, twice. The beginning of Parashat Kedoshim, and later in Parashat Kedoshim, when the issues of Molech and right before the issues of the Arayot are discussed. The rationale of the commandment to become kadosh is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is kadosh, and we are supposed to imitate him in that particular aspect. What does it mean to become kadosh? I think what we're seeing here in Parashat Shemini is a very different list of things than we see later in Parashat Kedoshim. In Parashat Kedoshim, I think that there are a few exceptions, but for the vast majority of the things listed in Parashat Kedoshim, there are things that could be understood as general morals and ethics of a universal status, things of general honesty and kindness. Many, if not most, the vast majority, as a matter of fact, of the things in the list are bein adam lechavero. And the message there is that being part of the world of Kedusha is to be, simply put, a mensch. And that will create Kedusha. The message that we're seeing in Parashat Shemini, I believe, is something totally different. Here, the requirement, the drisha of the Torah for Kedusha actually welcomes us into realms that we don't understand anything about at all. The world of Tumah and Tahara are intangible. They're not understandable. I think the entire second half of Parashat Shemini can be easily classified as a chok, as the list of the mitzvot that we do not have a clear understanding. Why one animal we can eat and a different one we cannot eat based on the fact that whether it has split hooves, it doesn't have split hooves, it chews its cud, it doesn't chew its cud, and the same thing for the fish and the birds. Why is one thing create tumah and another thing not create tumah? These are all things that we really have no real indication as to what the real rationale behind them is. What is the message here? I believe is that the world of Kedusha is not just menschlichkeit, but it's surrendering to the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, specifically in places that we do not necessarily know what's going on. We don't have a clear handle on it. And as we live in this physical world, we need to always remind ourselves that there's something beyond. There's something more important. There's something deeper. And the world of the end of Parashat Shemini, the world of Tumah v'Tahara, the world of Machalot Asurot, that is beyond rational explanation, leads us to the level of Kedusha, as does all of the wonderful in very important mitzvot in Parashat Kedoshim that are defined as menschlichkeit, is another aspect of Kedusha. The combination of these two, the ben adam lechaviro and the ben adam lemakom, especially in places where we do not understand what the rationale is, brings us to a fuller understanding and a fuller experience of dedicating ourselves to the will of a Kadosh Baruch Hu and His will only. Shabbat Shalom.